Hi, greetings from Archaeversity YouTube channel. This is Professor Ramakrishna. Welcome to my YouTube channel Archaeversity. Along with this YouTube channel, I also have a website, that is archaeversity.com, where from you can download the playlists and watch them anytime, anywhere. In addition to these two, I also teach courses on online educational portals like Udemy, Coursera, Teachable, etc. So if you want to get a certification, then you can join a course from any of these online educational portals. In this lecture, I am going to explain you the generalizing of accounting transactions. For this purpose, I choose a basic journal entries. Now in generalizing of accounting transactions, I classified this into 4 different lecture series. In one lecture, this is the current lecture, or in this lecture, I explain you the basic journal entries. And in my next lecture, I'll explain you a little difficult journal entries, that is a moderate journal entries. And in the third lecture, I'll explain journal entries with tax transactions, or with considering a tax into consideration, or taking tax into consideration. And in fourth lecture, I'll explain you journal entries in the context of accrual accounting. So without any delay, now we'll move to my OneNote, where I have examples of different journal entries, and I'll show you the process of journalizing the transactions. So I suggest you to practice the journal entries in the way which I explain here, so that it is a little scientific approach which will help you to minimize errors in recording transactions into your books of original entry. At the time of generalizing accounting transactions, you have to keep rules of debit and credit in your mind. So as I explained you in the previous lectures, just I'll rewrite here. So when we are talking about rules of debit and credit, we use our accounting equation, that is assets is equals to liabilities plus owner's equity. And in addition to that, we also consider expenses and revenue, because the difference between expenses and revenue is the amount belongs to the owner's equity. So here in case of assets, the debits and credits, that is what is to be written on the debit side, that is the left hand side, and what is to be written on the right hand side is that when there is an increase in your assets, we write it on a debit side, or we debit that account. And when there is a decrease in assets, we write on a credit side. On the other side, when it comes to the liabilities, debit and credit, when there is an increase in a liability, we credit it, and when there is a decrease in a liability, we debit it. The same rule applies to the equity also. In case of equity, debit, credit. In case there is an increase in equity, we credit it, and in case there is a decrease in equity, we debit it. And when it comes to the expenses, any increase in expenses we will debit, and any decrease in expenses we credit. And when it comes to the revenues, when there is an increase in a revenues, you will credit it, and when there is a decrease in a revenues, we debit it. So this is one that is related to the rules of debit and credit. Next is that you have to see that every accounting transaction will have 2 items and affect 2 accounts. So you have to identify those 2 items and 2 accounts, then apply the rules of a debit and credit, then generalize the transaction. So here we have an example. On October 1st, stockholders invest rupees 1 lakh cash in a tourism company to be known as Travel Guide. So here you have a financial character. This is measured in terms of a finance and in terms of a money. And you have a two accounts. One is the stockholders and second one is a travel guide. Now we'll see two accounts. One is a stockholders, or we can say that a stockholder or equity holders, and second one is the cash, right? And stockholder or the equity holders, this is your equity, whereas the cash is your asset. Fine. Next is that what is increasing here into the business, cash is increasing. Similarly, equity holders equity is also increasing. So two items or two accounts, one is the stockholders equity and second one is the cash. Equity and asset both are increasing. Now you apply the rule of debit and credit. Now what will happen when an asset increases? So when an asset increases, we'll debit it. And what will happen when equity holders equity increases? So here when it increases, we credit it. So once we identify this, then we'll write our general transaction saying that on October 1st, first you have to write the debit account, that is cash account. We'll write this as a debit, that is cash account is debited. So cash account debtor to what is that you are getting? Stockholders equity, or you can say that equity or a capital or equity. This is a credit. And now what is the amount? So 1 lakh is amount here and 1 lakh is the amount here. Now just you can see that on the first row we write the debit account, that is the cash account debtor to, and we write amount in one column. And when it comes to the second item or second account, we give a tab space here, so some space here to capital account, and we write this amount in another column. Okay, there is no debit and credit is required here, so here column 1 and column 2. Now we'll do the second transaction. On October 1st, travel guide borrows cash of rupees 50,000 by signing a 9-month 18% note payable. So here you have two accounts. One is a short-term loan, or you can say that loan or a payable, and second is this borrowed in the form of a cash. So loan is your liability, cash is an asset. Now what is happening to the liability? You are borrowing money, in the sense your liability will increase. That means you have to pay this amount in future. So there is an increase in a liability. And what is happening to the cash, which is an asset? So there is an increase in your asset. So when there is an increase in our asset, what is that we do? We debit. And when there is an increase in a liability, check here. So increase in a liability, we have to credit. So credit. Now the journal entry is date, you have to write October 1st. Then here you have a cash account debtor to, what is that you are doing? You are borrowing a loan. So it is a short-term loan. You can say that short-term loan or a payable. So let us say you have a short-term loan. And what is the amount? So 50,000 is the amount and 50,000 is the amount. Now we look at the other transaction here. See, on October 2nd, travel guide used rupees 50,000 to purchase office furniture. So here one is your furniture and second one is cash. So furniture is what the organization purchase and it own. So when it owns, this is an asset, and cash is also an asset. What is happening with the furniture? There is an increase in the furniture because you purchased the furniture. So there is an increase, and you paid in the form of a cash. So the cash is decreasing. Now When an asset increases, our rule says that you have to debit this account, and when asset decreases, then you have to credit this. Now your journal entry will be on October 2nd, your furniture account debtor to cash account. So the amount is 50,000 and 50,000. And you can write a narration also, because in future references purpose you can use a narration here. So your narration you can write furniture purchased by paying cash. So this will clarify in a sense in future whether the furniture is purchased by paying through check or through cash. So here this says that. So this narration will help you to know how actually this transaction has been made. Next, on October 3rd, Travel Guide received rupees 20,000 in cash from Mr. Guru for guide services performed in October. So here one is that you are providing a services, that we can say that sales or your revenue, sales, or we can say that your revenue. This is one. And second one is you received a cash. So revenue, this is sales is your revenue account and cash is your asset. Now here what happened? Cash increase, that is you received the cash, so cash increases, and revenue also increased. Then asset, increase in asset is debit and increase in a revenue is a credit. You can see here. Now when it comes to the revenue, increase in revenue is credit. So you have a credit. Now we'll write a transaction here. Now on October 3rd, our journal entry will be cash account debtor to sales revenue, or simply sales. What is the amount? 20,000 is the amount and 20,000 is the amount. So we are writing this 20,000 in two different columns. So this is a debit account and this one is the credit account. Now coming to the next transaction. On October 5th, Travel Guide paid office rent for October in cash of rupees 5,000. So here two accounts involved are, one is the rent and second one is your cash. So rent is what? Rent is an expense, cash is an asset. So here what happening with the rent, that is your expense, you are paying the expense, that is rent increased, and your cash, you are paying out the cash, so cash is decreased. Decrease in a cash is credit and increase in expenditure is a debit. Now just we'll cross check once again. Here expenses, increase in expenditure, so this is a debit, and decrease in your asset, so this is a credit. So what would be our transaction? That is, the journal entry will be on October 5th, that is expense or rent account to be debited. So rent account debtor to cash account, and how much is the amount? So 5,000 is the amount that we paid. Next, coming to another transaction. On October 10th, Travel Guide purchased supplies on credit from Mr. Supply and Co. So here two things. One is your office supplies, that is your inventory. You can say that your office supplies like your office stationery, let us say. So, or you can consider this is an expenditure, let us say supplies is one. Then on account, that is on a credit from Messrs. Supply and Co. So this is a from Messrs. Supply and Co. So supplies is your expenditure. Then Supply and Co, you owe money to them, in the sense you have to pay. Right now you didn't pay, you have to pay. So you have to pay is own. O is your liability. What happened to your liability? There is an increase in a liability because you have to pay 20,000 to Supply Co in future. And what happened to your expenditure? There is increase in your expenditure. Now when the liability increases, we'll credit. When expenses increase, we debit. So here our transaction will be, that is the journal entry will be, on October 10th, your supplies account debtor to Supply and Co. That means we have to pay this amount to Supply and Co in future time period. So the amount is 20,000 and 20,000. Now you can write a narration here. Being supplies purchased on credit from Supply and Company. Now I am writing a transactions, that is a narrations here and there, but for every general entry it is a good practice to write the what you call as a narration. Next is, say on October 20, Travel Guide sold unneeded printer to a neighbor for rupees 5,000. So your printer is one. This is an asset and you sold it for 5,000 rupees and you are receiving a cash. Cash is also an asset. So what is happening to the printer now? The decrease in asset, because when you are selling your printer, your assets will decrease. So decrease in asset. And what is happening to the cash? You are receiving a cash and there is an increase in a cash. So when asset increases, we will debit, and when asset decreases, we credit. So here you can write a transaction, that is on October 20, cash account debtor to printer, that is asset. Now how much cash you are receiving here? Receiving rupees 5,000, and you can write here 5,000. Now you can write a narration here. Old printer sold for rupees 5,000 cash. So this is a narration that you can write. Next is on October 26, Travel Guide paid employees salaries of rupees 8,000. Now here one account is salaries and second account is your cash. So salaries is an expenditure, cash is an asset. So cash is decreasing, expenditure is increasing. So when expenses increase, we will debit. When asset decreases, we credit. So here October 26, now salaries account debtor to cash account, and how much is the amount paid? 8,000. So in one column 8,000, in another column another 8,000. Now on October 28th, paid cash to Messrs Suppliers and Company. So here one account is Supply and Co, and second one is a cash. So Supply and Co is a liability because you owe them the money, right? And cash is an asset. So what is happening to your liability? There is a decrease in a liability. And what is happening to your cash? Cash, that is asset. Asset is also decreasing. When asset decreases, we will credit, and when liability decreases, we debit. So here you can go back and check. So your liabilities, when liability, there is a decrease in a liability, we debit, and when there is a decrease in asset, we credit. Now using this, we can write a journal here, that is a journal entry on October 28th. So whose account we have to debit now? Messrs supply and company account debtor to cash. Amount is 15,000. Now final transaction for the day. On October 30, provided services to Techsoft company and raised invoice for rupees 35,000. So here you made a sale but not received the cash. So in this case what happens is your Techsoft is one account and your sales revenue is another account. So Techsoft, as you owe money from this is an asset and sales is your revenue. So what happened to the revenue? There is an increase in a revenue, and Techsoft, which owe your money, there is also increase in your asset. So increase in your asset is debit and increase in your revenue is credit. So the journal entry will be October 30. Now which account we need to debit? Techsoft, that is a receivables. We can say that instead of writing a Techsoft, we can say that receivables or trade receivables account debtor to sales. So here the amount to be received is 35,000. Now you can write a narration here. Sales made to Techsoft, amount is due from them. So this way you can write a narration saying that okay, this transaction is on a credit basis. So when you are making a credit sales, we consider this as a receivables. Instead of writing a company name every time, we combine all the transactions and show this as a receivables. So receivables is your asset. Now this is how you have to generalize your transactions. So while generalizing the transactions, what is that you have to do is first identify the two accounts in each transaction. There may be a minimum of 2 accounts. There may be 3 or 4 accounts also. But say you have to identify the minimum 2 accounts or more accounts involved in the transaction. That is the first. Second step is to classify the accounts, either they are an asset, liability, owner's equity, expenditure or expenses or a revenue. That is the second step. And the third step is apply the rule of a debit and credit for each account. Then the fourth step is to write the journal transaction or simply journalize the transaction. And the fifth one is write the narration for each transaction. Here I didn't write narrations for all the transactions. So keep practice of writing narrations for each and every transaction. This is how you need to journalize the transactions in general journal or books of original entry. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to my lecture. In my next lecture, I am going to explain you some advanced journal entries. So do watch or follow my other lectures on journal entries.